In today's video, I'll be listing off the different locations where you can easily farm your Ascension Materials so that you can ascend your characters past level 20 in Honkai Star Rail. You can get the Golden Crawl of the Past Shadow on the Stagnant Shadow through Blackwater Pass, and with Material Exchange with the Omni Synthesizer. You can get the Seed of Abundance on Calyx in the Backwater Pass. There are many ways to get the ancient part. You can get the Robot Settlement by defeating automatons and other enemies, on the Great Mine also from automatons or other enemies from the simulated universe, the assignment rewards from the Amber Exchange, and also from Material Exchange from the Omni Synthesizer. You can get the Arrow of the Beast Hunter on Calyx from Outlying Snow Plains. You can get the Broken Teeth of Iron Wolf from the Stagnant Shadow on the Great Mine, and also from Material Exchange from the Omni Synthesizer. You can get the Destroyer's Final Road from the Echo of War Supply Zone. You can get the Endotherm Sitting from Stagnant Shadow in the Silver Main Guard Restricted Zone, and also Material Exchange from the Omni Synthesizer. You can get Endurance of Bronze from the Stagnant Shadow on the Great Mine, and also from Material Exchange from the Omni Synthesizer. You can get the Conqueror's Wheel from the Storage Zone or the Supply Zone from the Equilibrium level 4 more Void Racer, Ravers or other enemies. You can also get from Material Synthesizers or Material Exchange in the Omni Synthesizer, and also from Simulated Universe enemies. You can get Enigmatic Ecostella from Mission Rewards and Level Rewards. You can get Extinguished Core from Flame Spawn and other enemies from Blackwater Pass and Rivertown, Simulated Universe enemies, Assignment Rewards, Amber Exchange and Material Exchange from the Omni Synthesizer. You can get the Jealousy Team from Cloud Fort from the Stagnant Shadow, and also Material Exchange from the Omni Synthesizer. You can get the Gorgeous Lament in the Echo of War on Everwinter Hill. You can get the Harmonic Tune in Calyx from the Robot Settlement. You can get the Horn of Snow in the Corridor of Fading Echoes in the Stagnant Shadow, and also Material Exchange from the Omni Synthesizer. Now for the Immortal Sionet, you can get from Mars Truck Soldiers in the Cloud Fort or Stargazer Navalia from Simulated Universe enemies, Assign Rewards, Amber Exchange and Material Exchange from the Omni Synthesizer. You can get the Key of Inspiration in Rivertown in Calyx. You can get a Lightning Crawl of the Past Shadow in the Corridor of Fading Echoes in the Stagnant Shadow, or for Material Exchange in the Omni Synthesizer. You can get Obsidian of Dread in the Great Mine in Calyx. You can get the Shape-Shifting Lightning Staff from Stargazer Navalia in the Stagnant Shadow, or for Material Exchange in the Omni Synthesizer. You can get the Shatter Blade in the Storage Zone in Calyx. You can get the Silverman Badge from Silverman Guards and Everwinter Shadewalkers on the Outlying Snow Plains and the Corridor of Fading Echoes. You can also get from the Simulated Universe enemies, Assign Rewards, Amber Exchange and Material Exchange from the Omni Synthesizer. And finally, you can get the Void Cast Iron from the Stagnant Shadow in the Base Zone, and also Material Exchange from the Omni Synthesizer. And that pretty much covers all of the Ascension Materials and their locations. And remember that to play Honkai Star Rail on the bigger screen of your PC, it's highly recommended to use BlueStacks along your keyboard and mouse. Also, the links to our socials are in the description, where you'll find the latest gaming news and game guides. Thank you very much for watching, and bye bye!